Product of the night. Product of the night.
Male balls wearing a black jacket, blue jeans, white gym shoes.
Product of the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, my boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Product of the night.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Tipping on a Sunday, cruising in my low, finna have a fun day, right before Monday, chilling with the homies, and you know forever we gon' listen to them oldies, looking at my rollie, homie, it's about that time that we get up, get out and get back on the grind, got money on my mind, now it's time to go get it, just left California and I already missed it, it's a trip, everybody tripping, the game ain't the same no more, it's all different, like Pop said, I got an ambition to be a straight rider down to 1580, shout out to the lady in my life, that's my baby.
Whittier lowriders are celebrating after restrictions for cruising have been lifted in the area. People riding through the street taking down no cruising signs. Eyewitness News reporter Leticia Juarez has the details.
A parade of slow-going classic lowrider cars rolled down Whittier Boulevard in East Los Angeles, marking a new chapter for the California car scene known as cruising. A gathering of car clubs celebrated as an ordinance sign banning cruising was taken down after a new law went into effect, lifting decades-long restrictions on the pastime.
It's a different time. We no longer fall into the stereotype of what a lowrider is. What a lowrider is, it's us.
Attorney and lowrider Tomas Recuejo worked to reverse the cruising bans and bring it back to Whittier Boulevard and beyond.
So today, it's very important to me because it means I don't have to worry about that for my son, who has a beautiful 54 Chevy over there, or anybody else's son or daughters.
The 1979 movie Boulevard Nights introduced lowriding and cruising to the rest of the nation. It showed young Latino drivers cruising along strips of road, displaying their modified cars, and as a way to meet up with other car fanatics.
Well, back then, I always say those were the wonder years, mainly Sunday night, Whittier Boulevard. It was just a spectacle to see. Everybody was here. There was never any trouble.
But cruising was curbed starting in the late 1970s amid rising violence and stereotypes about the culture. The sheriff's department, which once led the charge to close streets, is now working with car clubs to ensure the roads are open and safe.
Getting this back, you know, shows a little bit of trust in us. So, you know, let us keep the trust open with, you know, the merchants, with the people out here, the community especially, letting them know that we're not here to cause problems or trouble.
While low riding was popularized by young Latino men, women too had a hand in helping the culture develop.
It's like a hobby. You know, everybody has their likings of different things, but you know, we like low riding and showing our cars and what we have. Everybody has their own style and taste.
In the years following cruising bans, car clubs gathered at car shows, but the lifting of those restrictions has given the lowrider community their traditional avenue to gather once again.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV, Android TV.
Okay, what up, everyone? Welcome to the show. It's after hours. Let's talk about it with G-Lew and the homie Big D. We are back for another episode. Hold up. I am G-Lew. That's the homie Big D. What up, everyone? What up, Big D? What's popping, homie?
Just another typical Monday, baby. We starting this week live and direct, baby. Let's get to it, man.
Sir, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, tonight, as you already see, we got a great topic tonight. As you all know, California lifted the low riding ban, which was low riding had been banned for years, made it a crime to low ride, but it never stopped low riding. But you know, the cops just never liked it and always jammed people up. And now they have lifted the ban. So we want to talk about that tonight because they also lifted the ban, but it's still also issues with that as well. We're going to talk about that as well. But we're just excited that the ban has been lifted. People have been celebrating, as you know, everywhere from Whittier to Crenshaw, Broadway, you know, to Van Nuys to
Bristol, Orange County,
everywhere. It's a beautiful thing. People are back low riding. And it's a beautiful thing because that's the culture. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like people got to have stuff to do, and that's what people love to do, especially if people that got their low riders fixed up and all that. You know what I mean? They want to go show it off. So the ban has been lifted. Talk about it tonight. Welcome everyone. I see a lot of people in the chat. Shout out to Lena Lopes, Elia Delgado, the homie Southtown, Cadillac, Tooth, DeVille, DD Hairston,
sending ours.
Monica, what up? Big Spanks. What up to everyone out there, man? Let's talk about it tonight. You know what I mean? And we're going to open up the phone lines, too, for people to call in, and we'll let you guys talk about it, too, because that's what we do. We talk about it. What's poppin', Big D?
As I mentioned, man, just another day in the neighborhood, man. Good intro, though, bro, man. That's realistics right there. It was talking about, you know, the new era was taking place, man. I always saw, bro, like, man, you know, like you said earlier, you know, there was a lot of reasons behind, you know, how low riding was conducted. It was kind of like, you know, discriminating in some sense where I come from, because it has a lot of allegiance to it, man. You know, like you just mentioned too, low riding is a culture, bro.
Right.
And you got to understand in my days, dog, like Whittier Boulevard, you know, there was a sense, there was a gathering. There's a place where like that place is pretty popular and, you know, has a strong community when it comes to these kind of activities that, you know, our people have come out and they do, you know, it's a hobby, bro. You know, it's a hobby. It's a culture that goes behind it, but it's also a violent one too. You know what I'm saying? Just like your intro has brought in, you know, back in the 70s, man, you know, it's just people were cruising. It was a thing to do. You know, people get into gatherings and they're trying to just what they're trying to do is distribute and show, you know, low riding, man. Low riding's feed, man. You know, there's a lot of money that goes into these type of activities, man. You know, it ain't no freaking just $200-$300, man. It's a lifestyle, man. You know, it's a lifestyle where, like you said, other cultures have adapted and adopted it at the same time. You know, you got culture and low riding in Japan. You know, you got. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I said it's big in Japan for sure. They definitely adapted the lowrider scene, I think, more than anyone else Japan has, really.
Right. And you know, they follow the you know, the concept, bro. You know, if you look at some of the videos which I have, you know, I advise you guys, man, check them out, man. You know, and check out these people that are out there and they're with the business and they're willing to learn other cultures and their activities and on their everyday life, man. And like I said, the culture of lowriding, I don't know how you were introduced to it, Pops. I mean, I didn't really know nobody growing up with the low ride and all this. I kind of knew what it was in some sense. Didn't really know my cars. Like I said, man, some people are real heroistic on it, man. You know, they're on the real on that. You know, they know the year, the model more than their wife's freaking birthday and something, bro. You know? So, just what it brings to the culture is pretty cool. How, the community, because I think they had to sign a reform, to tell you the truth, to do stuff like that. It says right here too, Gavin Newsom signed an assembly bill like 436 in October prohibiting lowrider bans and anti-cruising ordinance across California, making it okay for car fanatics to enjoy a stroll on their decked out vehicles. Cruising is a lifestyle. It's our culture. It's our life. It's our livelihood. One lowrider enthusiast said. So this was like a petition, man. It's just like, hey, hey, this was sent out. You can't have people, put thousands of dollars and put, their God, hard sweat money, into something, and you can't even put those four wheels on ground, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just brings, and it's a win for, like I said, our communities, man, because to be suppressed like that, it's not cool, man. It is an outgoing community event. They just passed it this year. And I can't even remember. I can't even wait till how summer is going to be, man. It should be a lot of good content that's already out there, man. If you haven't even seen it, check out Whittier Boulevard, East Los Angeles on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of these cars being out there. A lot of YouTubers that are out there displaying what they are, and I'm ready to get out there too, to tell you the truth.
Right, it's going to be dope, man. It's going to be a good year. Already starting off to be a good year. I've seen a lot of stuff. Shout out to people who go out there and get the footage of it, like LA Confidential. A lot of people out there every week, man, showcasing it and letting people see it, and it's big across the world. Everyone loves to see it. You know what I mean? And I like how, like you said, since the band has really come back really strong. You know what I mean? Like it never really went anywhere, but it's hard to get out there and not get harassed by the cops. You know what I mean? They're going to pull you over. A lot of people have been getting their cars towed. I want to talk about that too, because even though the ban has been lifted, the cops still find ways to, trip on people and jam them up. And you can low ride, but you can't hang out. You can't park. You got to have a permit. They're finding ways still to make it for people to get out there and have a good time. Don't get it twisted. So we want to talk about all that. But, like I said, either way, it's a beautiful thing that it is the ban is lifted. You know what I mean?
Right. They're just making sure that everything's going to be according to all legislation and all paperwork and all that, man. If you're going to park your car, on the street, public street, especially on the boulevard, that's pretty known for that kind of lifestyle, they're going to make it a lot of hard, man. They ain't going to make it easy for lowriders to pop up, because there's some tendencies where some people act, a little bit, the way they're not supposed to be acting at a certain time after that, man. It brings the community was worried about also all the disturbance, the mess, because low riding's on a Whittier Boulevard. It's in a community also as well. If people if you're from the area, you just make a right or a left and you're already in a residential area, so it goes a long way. Almost like, I want to say over like a mile, almost 2 miles, man, and from Pico Rivera, East LA to Whittier Boulevard to Whittier, and it ends right there. To tell you the truth, in our days, in our neighborhood, man, they used to cross over the riverbed, the LA riverbed right there, come over to the neighborhood and just park right there. Because you got to understand, there was a talk about everything, man. The way these people pull up, like I said, it's the lifestyle, bro. Right. They're shining the rims. They just painted their car. They want to pull up, dog. You know what I mean? They want to pull up, get to the curb, man, have their granny, they have their junta, their little meeting, and they're ready to showcase, they're ready to display, man. They're ready to, they got horns, man, their mufflers, their engines. It's just crazy. There's an art to it. So, people take pride, but there's a lot of reasons why a lot of these low riding activities have been going on, because I remember back then there was a concert. If there was a music event, that's when lowrider was popping for sure, man. Right. You bet. So
it brought a lot too. Like a lot of the lowrider shows were big. You know what I mean?
Big.
music and you know what I mean, just a big events. But like you said, it also brought a lot of the gang. I think it's better now because the gang stuff is not as intense as it was back in the 90s, early 2000s. So it's like I think that makes it a little bit easier now because it's not so crazy as it used to be. So people can enjoy themselves. Before, you know, everyone would be deep, hella gangs
That
out there.
part.
It's gonna be a lot of action, and that's really
That
why
part.
it was banned. You know.
Yeah, that was the part that I could think. Because to tell you the truth, like I said, never really even grew up like that. You know, showing that a lot of my family members were into like whether the old age stuff, like not into cars, but the hot rods. You got to understand, there's a hot rod community too, as well, not just low riding. You know, they
Right.
got the hot rod, the fast cars, and so forth. But that's what they were into at that time. You know, I really never adopted to the low ride. I just knew what it was and per se because as we also mentioned in the culture, you know, has been movies by this, you know, there's have been magazines by this, you know, there's been music events by low riding. So it has been pretty freaky, you know, pretty adopted and grown. Where I remember growing up in low riding the whole intention was to meet the girls. That's what I remember walking on Whittier Boulevard, man. See, we used to walk on Whittier Boulevard, and there used to be like 20 of us, bro, like just straight soldiers, man, just, you know, crazy. And a lot of cars were low riding, and you know, they show up on the boulevard. Like I said, I remember it was always after the Art Laboe on February this month. It was crazy. There was always the concerts. We go out there in Whittier, man, and Sunday's pretty sure, bro, it will be backed up from here to there, like on a long ways. So you got to understand, man, like, you know, cruising also brought a lot of bad, you know, deeds in there. You know, there was a lot of gang violence, you know, when I was in the car, because our whole intention was to see a different side of a culture or different in other words, another neighborhood, you know, going into your territory. You know what I'm saying? Things got a little wild out after a while. Yes, everything was about the cars. Everything was about the beauty of the paint job, you know, the hydraulics and so forth. You know, that's the lovely part of things. But back then, you know, people were still playing for keeps in the 90s, man. So people were getting shot. These events were quickly closed down by the departments, the sheriff department, stuff like that, because there was a lot of murders that came behind it, or a lot of people of violence, should I say, in other words, in that part of town.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Also, people want to let you guys, like I said, we're gonna open up the phone lines too soon, and people, if you want to jump on the live too, you can come in and talk about some of your experience because we got a lot of OGs, we got House and you know
Yeah.
Spanks. I know a lot of these people that experienced it back in the day, and tell us, you know, what you liked about it, didn't like, what you think about now the new ban being lifted, and the effects it can have, good or bad. You know, talk about it.
Right. Right, let's talk about it. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I like to talk to people like that are into that kind of stuff, because House himself will give you a lot of, he has paintings, man, and he has pictures of stuff like, wow. And he, you know, he says he has a car tour. He's waiting for that one, man. And it's just like, it's monumental, man. It's a lot of work. Like I said, costs us a lot of money, to tell you the truth, man. You know, there's a lot of money that goes into these, like I'm saying, but you know, they get the appearance, they get the recognition. If you tell them the truth, you know, Snoop Dogg has went to certain people and say, hey, I'll pay you, you know, to put your low riding in my, you know, your car in my video. And man, somebody fronts you up with 10, 20 grand, you're gonna
Right.
take it, man, you know. So, but at the same time, that 10, 20 grand has basically put more money in that car, or you know, it becomes a hobby, man. It's an addiction, bro. You know, you pick up one car that looks fresh and fly, you want to do better than the next. You know, I look at low riding and how you paint and stuff like that. It's just a hobby, bro.
Have 35K put in my paint. Wow. You know what I mean? I mean, to people, some people, like you said, it's really like a lifestyle. Like some people, it's a hobby. Some people want to do it. Some people really did this all their lives, and they really put their heart in, like all their money, the hard-earned money into it. Build cars for years. I know House builds lowriders too. You know what I mean? It's people that really build the lowriders, people that build them to sell them. It's people that go compete. They go to the lowrider shows. Some tow their
All
cars.
that.
Some don't drive them. Some tow their cars on the flatbed to the show and just display it.
All that.
You ain't a real lowrider if it ain't on the ground. So some people, it's a lot of ways people express themselves. You know what I mean? I know a lot of few real cats that are really into lowriders, homies from the Majestics and you know, Imperial. and different car clubs, Long Beach City Riders. You know what I mean? That do their thing. DD's husband is in the low riding, so it's a lot of people that really is serious, and like I said, it's really like a real lifestyle to people. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Well, I look at it as like, why is it a hobby, bro? These people are trying to bring old metal back to life, bro. You got to understand that. So, people, their imagination, us human beings, man, we're very creative, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's that creativity when you take that time, nurturing it, fixing it. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Like you said, you got some people, some YouTubers that are down here, that show and display, low riding and what's taking place. I think one of them I seen, he shows all the work that he's building one, I think, of Monte Carlo from fresh, and he's showing it. And I'm just like, man, the paint work, there's a lot to go into. So everybody just thinks like, hey, it's just a piece of metal with some nice rims on the boulevard. Like, nah, homie. Like there's stories and war stories amongst that, good and bad, man. There ain't nothing good feeling, man. Like, I don't know you, Pops, but I low rided a couple times in some Feederman cars, dog, and there's a good feeling there. It brings like, it's an attraction, it's a vision, it's a display. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is me. I'm low riding, man, and what's up? That's when I look at people from other nations. It went across the world, man. They look at it and they recognize, our culture, as I mentioned. So, what follows that? There's a lot of it that follows that because it brings, what type of music we listen to. You know what I'm saying? What type of clothing wear we dress, how we dress. There's a whole big repa to that. You know what I mean? It's a lifestyle to low riding, homie.
Yes, sir. And then there's like people like got there. What up, Matthew? A lot of people in the house tonight. Thank you. But it's a lot of people that then you got different people that like different styles. Some people like the Chevy, 64, 63. Some people like the Cadillacs. I'm a Cadillac man. You got some people, the real OGs who had the bomb. The homies used to come through with the bombers. You know what I mean? Like, I used to see people come up to the high school like in their bombs, picking up their bombs. You know what I mean? And it was like a lot of different, whatever your stilo was. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, man. And like I said, man, it's just a lot of woodwork behind it. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. A lot of woodwork, man. But yeah. You when you meet somebody, man, like I said, I met a couple of people, bro. I know this one guy, man, like I know this one guy, right? And just met him through, other people, man. That's how you meet people, right? You network, you go, this friend of my friend. He's a good friend of my cousin. And man, he has a nice low rider. I don't know what year it is or so forth, but you've seen it here and there. If you've seen him once, you've seen them all. You know what I mean? And he was building them, man. Like I said, he was just like, because he had a lot of frames in the back of his pad, and he was all like, hey, if you got like 20 grand, I'll help you make it and build it. And I was like, man, I don't got 20 grand just like that, bro. He goes, it'll cost a little more. And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, when you get your money together, it's just like, boom, I'll make you look like this one. So, people don't realize too, like we just mentioned, is it costs a lot of money that goes behind it, man. Paint job, just like crazy, and like I said, it also brings people's creativity and what's his name? Cartoon, right? Yeah, the homie Cartoon that paints and cars and stuff like that brought his talent out and expose his talent, his beautiful talent that he does, and now look at him now.
Yeah, he's major now. And then like you said, now, like back in the day, it was big, but now it's become like big business because people, real lowriders, and people that build lowriders, like in LA, like they build them now, they build them up and make them to sell them because it's big money. Like you said, people across the nation and the world look to buy lowriders and they look to California for them because they know that's the original. So people build them up now to sell them for big money. Like you got cars going for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Now. You know what I mean? It's big business,
And we're just talking on a small portion right now. We're just talking about how California has just lifted it, but we're telling you that I'm trying to say, one of the reasons why, man, its popularity has grown, man. And people are generational in that stuff, man. Oh, my dad's lowrider. This was my dad's lowrider, my mom's lowrider. You see women lowriding, bro. You saw that right there on the clipping that you had. Good job, DD, editing that. Shout out to DD.
And it brought the good thing, and I'm gonna go to Pearl's comment right here, but it also brought gangs, that was a big thing too, that would bring, it brought a lot of violence, but it brought violence down as well, because homies in gangs, if they were serious about their cars, they would join car clubs and go ride. And if you were in a car club, homie, if you were low riding that night, you knew not to bring the gang violence. Like, the homies wouldn't allow it. So it brought the gang violence down as well, and it brought people together. And I think that's a good thing it can do now, especially a lot of people are older. A lot of gang members can just like have car clubs, and that can bring people together. You know what I mean? Instead of the BS. So that's a good thing. But like Pearl says, she said, I have mixed emotions about low riding, because we had low riders and it's fun, it's cool. But however, it brings a lot of violence. People don't know how to act, and there are families with kids. And that was a big issue.
Right, and that becomes, right now, that I agree with her a lot. Like 99%, due to the fact what she is. Like right now, I hope we're not like a ticking time bomb. You know what I'm saying? Because when you set it off someplace, it's always gonna get set off everywhere else, right? It's social media now and everything. Hey, did you see what happened over here? Oh, this happened over there, and it's a part that has a lot of violence that came from behind it. Like I said, I mentioned. I seen it walking down the boulevard, because when you're cruising, right, you got to remember something. There's right, we're cruising down the low, and everything's all fun and games, right? But you got to come across something, bro. Like, there's always a green light, a yellow light, and a red light. So if you get stuck in not only in an environment, but in an area where you think, everything's cool, then, you got a lot of people. There's a lot of gangs, to tell you the truth.
People getting
on
robbed
that Whittier Boulevard, and to tell you the truth,
robbed for the fucking low riders too, though. That shit was big too.
you know
that shit.
So, and I just been seeing it right now myself. Like, following their content, I could see a lot of graffiti more. I could see, because these are a lot of neighborhoods that have been on the low, like, hey, they've been waiting for Horizon, bro. So I think what Pearl's talking about is totally 99 true, and that's the part I pray that, these youngsters keep it traditional, because in that case, you got to understand, these places are family orientated too.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you've seen it. They're going to pull up, they bring their, chairs, they bring the kids out and so forth. Even the culture and the dress code has changed. That has came back as well. The khakis and, the shirt, white t-shirts, creasing. So, we have to be and aware that, hey, man, it's a beautiful culture. Yes, the government went out, like, Gavin, out of all governors, it was Gavin Newsom who signed the damn thing. And we are where we are right now, but, so far so good. But as Mention Pro says, it's just, hopefully it's not a ticking time bomb.
Right. Hey, let me do this right quick. Let me take a quick break. Let me show this, and we'll come right back. We're gonna
handle it.
On any given weekend, on the boulevards of Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley, the streets are jumping and pumping with lowriders.
Whittier Boulevard, it's always something going on. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 events that we not even know where to go.
Alejandro Vega, known in lowrider circles as Chino, has been building and painting cars since the early 90s. He says the tricks that the cars perform are always a visual treat.
You will see a guy doing a 3-wheel, another guy hopping, different car coming out, car scraping. It's always something new.
And the time, love, and money that goes into them, they are chromed up works of art.
And your car has even been at the Louvre, right?
That was 2011, and it was there for almost 3 months.
What was it like seeing your car there in the midst? I mean, the Mona Lisa and then the lowrider.
Well, that was a big thing.
But until this week, these cruises weren't exactly street legal.
How many tickets, for example, have you gotten over the years?
Well, at one point, they closed down Sepulveda Boulevard. They closed down like 5 blocks, and everybody inside got a ticket.
Originally a homegrown piece of Mexican-American culture and embraced by Black Californians, lowriding had developed gang and drug stereotypes by the 80s, leading to bans across California.
So why did cruising become illegal?
I think they were looking at it as like a public nuisance, as a way to sort of like have control of the streets.
Denise Sandoval is a professor of Chicano studies in LA.
You know, racial stereotyping always plays a role in laws that are targeting working class communities or communities of color. Like when you look at the 90s and the attacks on our community, and again, that was sort of the fear of like gangs, but lowriders are not gang members.
She says since those days, lowriding has regained a lot of the positive vibes that first brought it to prominence.
When you talk to a lowrider and you ask them, what does it mean to be a lowrider? And they say, well, it's about heart, it's about pride, it's about family. Not just your blood family, but your community also as family.
All right, Q, revving it up.
On a Sunday afternoon recently, I took a cruise with Laquan Lee, aka Q. He's a member of the USO Car Club alongside Chino Vega.
Are we gonna bounce? Woo!
Bounce a little bit.
What kind of looks do you get on the highway?
Oh, it's crazy. People, they pull out their cameras. I get the thumbs up. I get the honks.
That is so fun. Woo! It's a little tilt-a-whirl.
More and more, women are building and showing off their own rides.
Women have always been a part of lowriding as solo riders. Lowriding has been a masculine activity, but the changes that I've been seeing in these last 5 years is that women are just starting their own clubs. Women are creating space for themselves.
For the community, it's a new day for lowriders, one where they can embrace their culture without fear of prosecution.
There's a lot of people that go to the cruise spots and we literally make a day out. You know, we take our chairs, we sit down and stay there. When we see the cops, now we have to pick up all the stuff and leave. I don't think we have to do that anymore.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Natalie Morales in Mission Hills, California.
That's dope.
Yep, we're back. We're back.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's good educating right there, you know. That's good, you know. Good just way how it just explains everything, man, you know. Lowriding's here to stay, man, and there's people are revolving, like I said, and I've been down there a couple of times, and it's phenomenal right at this point. But we always got to be precautious, and you know, and just hey, homeboy said to put the number. Oh, there you go.
Yep, there it is, people. Hey, what do you think too? Like I said earlier, Pearl said lowriding can be cool. Getting to see all those nice rides and awesome paint jobs is not all bad. There's a lot of good. Don't get me wrong. What do you think too? Like now, like they said, the ban has been lifted, but still, it's a lot. Like they're saying, I'm gonna play another clip soon. But like I said earlier, the police are finding ways to, you know, still harass people. Like you can, okay, it's not banned, but you can't hang out. You can't park here. You can't post up. You can't do this and that. A lot of people I've been hearing getting their cars towed, pulled over, a lot of tickets.
Yeah. Well, it got to make a little bit money too, man. You gotta say they gotta give a little to make a little, bro. Ain't nothing changed, man. You know, the city's always gonna make a quota. And that's, you know, they're gonna allow you to do what they gotta do. That's what I'm saying. Later on, there's probably gonna be some permits that are gonna be added. It's all give and take, you know, the city and, you know, all these people that are coming on with, because you got to understand, man, if it starts bringing trash and then violence comes in, they'll shut that down, man. You know, that's not what the city wants to see. You know, no city wants to represent that. And actually in that part of town, from East LA to freaking Pico Rivera all the way to Whittier, you know, and certain other places all across the state, to tell you the truth, we're not the only state that's doing lowriding, man. That's what I'm saying. It's across the state. Texas does it big. You know, New York, I see this. Chicago does it big. You know, this has gone so. And we're talking about right now internationally. I mean, our local communities and states too is just crazy. You know, people are adapted to this.
Right. We got a caller. Caller, hello. We missed your call.
Who's this?
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Yo.
I love this. I love tonight. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
You know
Let's
what?
talk about it.
The last time I was at a lowriding show in 2000, I want to say 2000, the ending of 2020. It was during COVID. Believe it or not, everybody was down the boulevard. It was cracking again. Like it was something that was so cool to see because I would only hear about the cruising. I would see lowriders on the boulevard. I grew up on the boulevard my whole life, so I would see them here and there. But to see the cars like bumper to bumper again, I only heard about that like from my mom and dad telling me like how that was. They would pick up on each other and like the guys and girls are gang, But when I got to experience like it for myself, like the culture for myself, it was so cool to see like it be family orientated and kids out there, and even our people getting their hustle on, like as far as like selling enchiladas or even USBs for oldies, and like everyone was just out there supporting each other, loving each other. But the last one I was at, man, they shot it up, and it was pretty messed up to see like mothers covering over their kids and just like, man, let's not ruin this. And I know like us as our people, like we could be mindful, and we're in different neighborhoods and stuff, but like only if our people could just be mindful, like we have our children around, like this isn't what it's about, so I'm excited that this summer is going to be cracking, but I just hope that people could just keep themselves together, control their emotions, control themselves, and let us enjoy it. Let us enjoy it because it's beautiful. It's really, I love it. I love it. My uncle.
I think that's where people like big homies and people got to take that stance and really step up and make sure. I know you can't control everyone, but try to control your homies, your people that are with you. Curb the violence. Like if some shit is going down, try to put a stop to it and make sure your homies put your homies in check if you got to. We ain't doing that tonight. You know what I mean? There's kids out here. Everyone keep that shit down. You know what I mean? I think
that's crazy. And my bad, dog.
Go ahead, bro.
And it's crazy, like I said, that's what you see right now, man. You see the younger generation trying to adapt to it, but they're not trying to be very hostile about it.
Right.
It's family oriented. So there's a community behind it. As you can see, a lot of these gang members have not only left their neighborhood, but they got into other clubs as well. Motorcycle clubs, right? The Mongos and everything now. So, people are just trying to grow up, or we're just trying to teach our young generation, the culture behind it. And we can be peaceful all the time, but it's crazy at these events, like the caller just said right now, and even how Pearl, it's just sad how the violence is just, you can't run away from it. I'm just trying to keep it real, man. So how to put these people on check and to deliver the right message, that's where it's gonna come down to, man.
Yeah. Well, if we love this, if we like love our low riding scene, like then we just have to work together, as a people to just try to come together and just like, hey, like even if we got to talk to each other or like everybody have a car club meeting, because I know they do that, like where all the car clubs get together and they talk even about leaving our trash around in the streets. Like, man, I was there so much where I would see all the cars leave, everybody's gone, and there's like a bunch of trash left. Like, come on, people, we gotta do better. Like, if we want to be here in this spot and they're allowing us, opening their parking lot to us, like, let's do better, But it's so cool to see just people come out from everywhere. Even if you don't have a lowrider, you're parking up the streets, you're parking in the blocks to just come into the center to see the cars.
Yeah, exactly. For free, to tell you the truth, because yeah, for free, to tell you the truth, because there's a lot of display. You have to go to lowrider events so that they charge, and this is done every weekend for free, man. So it's just pretty crazy. But look at what's crazy, how I'm glad you mentioned this caller. I don't know who your name is again. Stay tuned.
It's Lena.
Oh, Lena, yeah, man, you're on point then, Lena. So it's good how you say that, because check it out. We had already fight the government again, the state, the state of California, they banned it. And then now to come back and then fight against our own people and stuff like that. I mean, you know exactly what's going on in that type of area and everything, it gets a little rowdy down there. And so in some sense, we got to find a way to get to our local communities, because, these neighbors, it's just the winter, man. The summer's just around the corner.
It's going to get cracking in a minute. It already is, but it's going to get there. It's going to be big. I think it's going to be a big year for the low riding community. But like you said, we just got to come together and make it work. You know what I mean? So they don't have a reason to ban it or say it's bad.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said again, I think it's just better beautiful. Now. It is. And I think it's better now in these days because it's not as intense. And, it ain't like how, back in the day, it was crazy. So it's not that intense anymore. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that'll help it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be maintained and controlled, man. You're just join the activity, we don't want this stuff shut down and banned again. This gives the government or the local cities and stuff like that to bring stuff like that down. But once it's shut down, who's there to blame? It all depends. There's no reason for gun violence, man. Especially when there's family and kids there. That's a big no-no.
And then they fight so hard for us to be passed, to be cruising. They fight so hard, and then it's us that messes it up. So hopefully, keep our fingers.
Yeah. And I also like how you said. Yeah, I like also how you said. My bad. I like how you said, Lena, how how your parents met out there and stuff like. Because my mom used to cruise Whittier Boulevard, and she's on the movie Boulevard Nights. To tell you the truth, her car that she was driving that night. Yeah, so back then, to tell you the truth, it was not even Whittier Boulevard. It was Lake back then. They used to cruise down Lake because how Whittier Boulevard and Lake they cross. So there was, from what I understood, that Lake used to be popping right there on that side, and that's where the cruising was, because Lake's pretty far. It's a long road.
Yeah, my mom and dad.
Favorites. Go ahead, Lena.
As a family. My mom and dad used to tell me, man, they would explain it to me how it was bumper to bumper. Nobody was moving. People were jumping in other cars, guys going with the girls going with the guys. People posted up and they're still posted up on the boulevard like that. But the way they described it, and then to see it in action, as an adult, and again, the lowriders are during COVID was cracking. There was every night, you for sure knew every Friday, started on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. People were cruising, and that's all we could do because we could just be in our cars, right? We weren't allowed to be around each other, but we were allowed to cruise down the boulevard, and it was just really dope. And like I said, I live right on Whittier Boulevard, so we could put our chairs outside, watch them cruise by. It was just so nice. It's cool. It's really a beautiful scene.
How was that for you, Lena? To grow up not only hearing about it, but to be able to see it, because you were right there, literally on Whittier. You know what I mean, and Montebello and all that.
It was so cool. It was really dope. It's super dope. It's something I definitely want my son to see and love, and hopefully one day have my own. My dad got me a 86 Regal when I was a teenager for high school, graduating high school, and so I fell in love with lowriders really, really young, so I love it. I'm glad we're talking about this.
That's what's up.
Even the hustle with our people is so dope. And then everybody supports everybody. Hey, I got a friend who makes this. I got a friend who does this. And everybody's just supporting each other. That's dope too. I love to see that too.
Right. And different communities, like I said, man, because I know the Black community, they hit hard on it too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
They hit hard on it too, man. They sometimes take it to another level. That's what it is. You're always trying to bring out the next and the better out of somebody else. Competing in good sense. And man, it's just like I said. It's not just here in California, man. There's different low riding. Texas have a different style of the way they low ride over there. They got laws over there. They do things different. But it's just crazy how low riders just in. It's something that's from back in the days that's still kept to present. You bring it life, bro. You know what I'm saying? You bring that kind of culture, that vibe, alive, and it's just man, when you're done with it, sometimes I see people, they cruise on it, man, and it looks all raggedy, dirty, it looks funny, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, it looks all, man, how you gonna make this into a nice car, and sure enough, man, you put some.
I like this. When you see, like you said, you see someone start, maybe they buy it, they got an old Regal or a Chevy, and it's just kind of old and raggedy, right? And they slowly fix it up. They may get their rims, then they may get the paint, then they get their interior, and they slowly put it together, and then you see them about a year later, all the way laid out. You know what I mean? It's it takes time. It ain't easy. That shit is expensive, and it's upkeep. It's not only when you put it together, it's upkeep, because when you got your switches and all that, you may bust a solenoid or batteries, you know what I mean? It's a lot of upkeep. So this is, like I said, it's a real lifestyle.
Yeah. And like I said, and the risk people take doing it. I had a homie, he had a big Rico. He took his to Tijuana, right? Just like the Cheech and Chong movie, man. We went in there, thought it was a shop. It was more than a shop. We came out with black, green, like white. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, hey, we came back 2 weeks later. Man, we drove back, and man, the things that people could do to an object, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, wow, man, they could make something too ugly look beautiful, man. And that's why we can't forget, the culture that we roll with. It's a beautiful thing. And but when we do violence, or or we mocking or putting our people down and so forth, and making a mockery out of what some people think, like, hey, look at, they can't even do this right or do that right. We give them a pass and look at them now.
Right. I would love to hear, like, I know House is one of the people, like, House builds cars, lowriders. I like to hear like the stories, because like I said, in building them, that's a whole different thing. Some people take really take craft in building them as well. Some people like to get them built and show them off. Some people really like to build them up from the ground up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, they are used. Yeah,
whatever.
They are used today in a lot of events, to tell you the truth, man. When people get married, they want to rent a Lolo. When people pass, we just had one for my uncle 2 weeks ago. We rented a Lolo. So there's a lot of business that comes into, like you said, the intake, putting in all your money and effort. But a lot of these organizations and these car clubs have built, back and how to sell their merchandise and how to make money off of their clubs and cars and so forth. And so, if you're involved, that's why people get involved with, you get involved with a certain community, man, whether it's a gang or, car club or baseball team or whatever, your local sports, you get involved into your local, neighborhood, activities, man. And all in that area, a big majority is just crazy how it's just that part of the area is just extended for cruising. It's just a street, to tell you the truth, man. It's the cars and the community and the people who bring the vibe, man.
And we got Big House.
Saludos, G-Lew. What's up, Big D?
I see you, House. What's up? Godson Sandy Mines, homie.
Everybody and everybody in the chat. Saludos, man.
Yeah, you know what? Real quick. I just want to say, man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate you. I just barely seen right now. Big Joe, what's up? It's good to see you, homie. Pearl, House of Tattoos, you on live right now. Keisha's good to see Cadillac too. Everybody who's out here, man. DD, I see you. Tally Savalas. Who else is on here, man? Everybody. Denise Castillo, Crusted. Can't forget you guys. I just want to give you guys a shout out, man.
That's right. No, you know what, G-Lew? I had several cars in my lifetime,
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Everything from 37 Packard, 40 Cadillac, 40 Buick, 47, 48, 50, 51, 53, 54. All kinds, plus about 4 Lincoln Town cars, But nothing like cruising. When you get in a ride and you have the music on and it's a Sunday night and you're rolling with the oldies on with your lady or looking for a lady,
wow,
can't get better than that,
And that's the thing. I want to, let's talk about it. Your house, give us a little bit more depth where you're cruising to, homie.
Right. Well, you know what? Back in the days, it was like when I was younger, Whittier bound, or Hollywood,
It's crazy. Hollywood.
Either
Hollywood, man. We can't forget Hollywood.
Or you'll see your ops on the boulevard and stuff like that.
You're gonna see the ops, homie, for sure, right?
But not only that, man. It was. I mean, I was young I was in high school. First time I cruised Whittier was 74, and then after that 76, my Jefito took me to Whittier, man, because he's from East LA,
Right. See.
Then 76, then 79, 80, 81, 82, and then on up, But it started getting bad, And I mean, like a lot of violence every time we went there. It was gang members and violence, But now these days, it's more family. All the veteranos that are older that used to cruise the boulevard, they want it family oriented, right?
Right.
You got those people burning out and doing the burnouts or whatever, But it's still in existence. The neighborhood, different neighborhoods, that's still in existence, you know. But it's all good now, man. When you're older, you just go to cruise, man. But like Loke said, you know, and Pearl, you know, I have to emphasize on that you know, you still got those flare-ups, man, and it's kind of sad, you know.
But what, in your opinion, even like you said, going way back, what do you think what is that cause though, bro? You know, because you know, I was part of that violence, to tell you the truth. Like I said, with Pearl is like, that's why I said I really say it's 99.9. She was pretty accurate, because there was a little bit of everything that night that happened. You got to understand that was what that type of day was. There was a session that was going on. There was something that was taking place, you know, whether it was an event, a lowrider concert or whatever. And the next, you know, the cruising was coming out. And like you said, I like how House emphasized to say whether you were cruising with your lady or trying to meet a lady, or, you know, you ladies trying to bring about the whatever, you know, there was a lot of that, you know, that's what it really was, man. You were looking for the next, you know, guy that's out there. But I mean, in your opinion, House, how do we try to divert from that? Because like I said, it just, summer's coming around the corner. We could lose what we gain. We could lose it too.
The only thing I can say about that is the people you're going with, put them in check, you know, let them know we're going to have a good time. You know, it's a family oriented thing. But you know what? When you mix alcohol and other things in different neighborhoods together, sometimes it can,
right.
You know, not too much from the car clubs, but it's just the neighborhood, you know.
The neighborhood, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about, House. That was that neighborhood on the boulevard that was.
Yeah, it's the younger generation that it happens, you know. Like there was times we went down there, and sometimes we would meet a lot of people, man. And I got set up one time there, man, and I had to find my way out, you know. But that's not just once, a lot of times. But you know what? It comes with the territory. But now, as a veteran, being older, I just want to have a good time. Shout out to all the viejitos worldwide, from Japan to Australia to everybody, Denver, you know, all over. Man.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other car clubs that are coming up. Shout out to G-Lew, he's watching, the homie around the corner that was working on his bombs. He goes, I want to también.
Yeah.
Brown Car Club.
Hey, House, I want to ask you too about you build cars as well. Tell us about that experience, how you even got into that.
Well, you know what? I work on the engines. I work on the motors. I do what I call is a off the ground restoration. I put it on jack stands. I start working on the underneath, you know, the brakes, whatever, and the motor, and I fix it up to where it looks nice to cruise in. You know, I don't make it a trailer cruise. It's costly, but I want to make sure it looks like a Firme bomb with the pipas in there. Got to have the music, you know. And looking gangster looking, you know what I'm saying? You know, the big white walls, crossbars, you know. But as for doing, I don't do hydraulics and stuff like that, you know. I'm an airbag guy now. I used to be into hydraulics, but getting older.
I'm glad you mentioned, not to cut you off, House, I'm glad you mentioned the airbags, because there's always a lot of talks between people who lowride, classic lowriders. Some people like airbags. Some people say that ain't real lowriding. But some people like that. Tell us the difference tell the people who don't even know what are airbags opposed to hydraulics.
Airbags,
talk about it.
Airbags is a lot more comfortable to ride. And, you know, you do have air, you do have a little bit more noise, but it's smooth. I mean, when you're driving down the street, it's like a Cadillac. In my 47 Fleetmaster, I'd be coming up the hill 97 miles an hour and just smooth like a Cadillac. But with hydraulics, it's a stiff ride and it's bouncing, you know.
That's crazy. Gangster, what? Wow.
Yeah.
That
you know what? I think now that you say that, airbags, I think, are probably better for cars like bombs and different cars. You're pretty much cruising anyway. You know what I mean?
You know what? Cruising is cruising. Back in the days, G-Lew, check it out. Sometimes how we lowered our cars is the homies said, hey, man, let's go get this concrete thing over here, man. So we got this concrete thing, put it in the trunk, and it dropped it around 2 or 3 inches, you know? Serio.
Damn,
hey, that's how we did it sometimes, man. And but then they got hydraulics, and once they got hydraulics, that was over. And but yeah, man, there's nothing like cruising. It's our culture, man, and it's a blessing, man, to see all kinds of beautiful people come together, raza, and have some good things happening, but there's the thing. There's always going to be a problem in some way or another. Things are going to happen, but somebody either has too much alcohol and they start a little thing, or it could be some girls there with another man, and then
Yeah, a lot of things can escalate. Yeah.
Take things off, and to me, but man, I love cruising, man. Put me in a bomb any day, Holmes.
Hey, House, I got. Go ahead, Pops.
I was gonna briefly. I see the homie Cadillac Tooth DeVille. He said you can put accumulators on your hydraulics and it will ride like air. What can you tell us what that's about?
Accumulators. You know what? When I had hydraulics on mine, I didn't know about accumulators. But what I put is I put shocks on there. But when I had shocks on there, the height was limited on how high you could go. And I only had hydraulics on my Lincoln Town cars, or on my Monte Carlo that I had, and so nothing else. On the bombs, it was either just lower it, put some lowering blocks, or throw some airbags. Because the airbags are like smooth. I love that, right?
Yeah, me too. I want my lowrider. I want to get a lowrider soon. But I don't want to be bouncing, because that tears your shit up and it's a lot of expensive. I would just like to raise up and down. You know what I mean? Just low. You know what I mean? I don't want too much. You know what I mean?
You know what? And to be truthful to you, G-Lew, it doesn't matter if you have high. See, some people like to clown, right?
Right.
They like to get in their hydros and it's competition, right? I like to get in there and have fun and with hydraulics, but not clowning. You know what I'm saying? I did a couple of hops and everything on people and this and that, but now I just lower. It doesn't matter. You could get a car and put airbags and you're still low riding, homie. You could just drive.
But in that concession, a lot of that's built on car shows right now. That hopping and everything, it's big business, man. That's why it went from hydros to airbags. I don't think airbags can make you hop like hydros or like that, right? There's big money on this type of these events. That's crazy.
Yeah, I seen some airbag setups where people got off the ground, and I seen that did a 3-wheel motion on the airbags.
Airbags straight up.
Yeah. But you know what? I had a pump. My pump cost me like a grand. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it used to fill up my 2 5-gallon tanks, which I had them set underneath my wheel wells on the 47. And basically, every 15 seconds, I could still do it and use it, right? And that thing used to hit pretty hard. Hell yeah, it did.
Wow, so you can actually raise up and do 3-wheel on an airbag house.
Yeah, if you set it up right, yeah, you can. I seen somebody do that. Yep.
Okay.
That's pretty cool, man. That's crazy.
But you know what? Now I'm trying to save up for one. If you hear my dog, excuse him, he's getting a little pissed because I'm
little man, quiet little man,
little big dog.
Oh, little big dog. Hey, yeah. I got one more question. How's you as a person, as an individual, liking the culture and lowrider, and how does that contribute you to doing like lowriding art? Because I seen your art, man, and it's pretty phenomenal. How when you drive that 64, and I was just like, damn, how does like people like Cartoon or even people like yourself, relate to that type of scene and culture and everything else? Because I know when it comes to culture, art, food, music, there's a lot of stuff that comes with culturism.
You know what? It comes down from my family. I had a big family, right? A family of 12, right? And most of them were all into either gangs or lowriders, stuff like that. So I kind of like, at one point in time in my life when I was younger, I says, I don't want to be like my brothers, and this and that. But back in the days we were poor, hand-me-downs. I got those creased down corduroys and everything, and I started dressing that way and I just fell into it. Big dog. Yeah. But you know what? So it's like the drawing aspect of it. I used to draw I can remember back when I was in elementary school and kindergarten, I used to always like drawing.
That's
and
crazy.
So I started getting into drawing. I was going to the raceway years ago, man, and I used to do draw dragsters and this and that when I was about 7. And then I started getting into lowriders, and I started drawing bombs. And sometimes I could draw a bomb just out of my head like this without using a reference because I practice, you know.
Right.
And but I love the art, man. The way they look, how sleek and beautiful they look, you know. And
because it has that like Azteca, you know what I mean, and Azteca lean and all. It has like a bunch of, you know, that's what I'm saying. Chicanoism, Mexicanoism. It's real big on the art and stuff where it let other, you know, cultures, you know, expand and excel on their drawings and everything else. So, you know, art has been a big contributor to lowriding, to tell you the truth, and that's pretty crazy.
Oh, you see it just like the Gypsy Rose. You know the Gypsy Rose, how they painted. They did that with paint brushes on the Gypsy Rose. You know,
damn, paint brushes. Wow, not no airbrush and paint brushes. Damn.
Yeah, you look at it and they use paint brushes and put a bunch of roses on there. But when they got done with it, I mean, and they use paint. They use airbrush, not airbrushing, but what do you call that? Paint, you know, basically how they paint cars with the thing. Anyways, you know, the detail on that wasn't great, but now you see the cars now are totally different because they got little airbrushing kits and they're more detailed and they're looking sick. Like, cause they use like sometimes ghost graphics and all that other stuff in there, you know. But it looks nice, man. It looks real nice.
Hey, House, I want to ask you, like, back in the day, speaking on when paint and low and different hydraulics, because, you know, like you said, I'm sure they started off basic and it got bigger and bigger. What was stuff like you, because you really come from, like, you know, you're a little older than us, so you got to experience it early. And even like, say, like the movie, like Boulevard Nights, one of my favorites. What was that impact that had when that came out? Because I'm sure you were able to experience it. I seen it later, but you were there when it kind of came out. How was that impact and all that when that stuff was coming out?
When Chuco played that part, he played it pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it was. I looked at it. That's how it was.
It is VGB, homie.
Yeah, the big VGB.
They're on the boulevard and they get out and they start fighting with the two cars.
That was us, homie. That was us, dog, on the grid, dog. Like,
you looking at Ranker?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
You know, but the thing is, that movie, it was a good movie. I thought it was true to how it happened. Even the guy, the brother, the disco guy, he was in the early like
it's a jelly beans and everything.
He had the cut off shorts that were so short and the long hair, the feather. Because I was in an era where you parted your hair in the middle and it kind of had like waves, you know, a little bit. Then I started cutting it and combing it straight back, you know. So it was like I seen stuff from the 70s up to the 80s and 90s, and you know, and you see the way I dress now. I'm not going to change, you know. I'm gonna be like this.
It's a lifestyle, man.
That's right. Yeah. I love that shit, homie. I need like keep that shit alive. I love that. That's the culture. I love that people keep that alive. You know what I mean? I know a lot of times the youngsters now they try to change up and do their thing, and that's cool. But you got to keep the original culture alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is, you can't have the iron chasing you, homie. You know, you can't. You know, you gotta have those creases, homie. You gotta set it up and have those creases, and
it's a lifestyle, man. You know, it's a lifestyle.
What was your favorite starch did you use back in the day?
Niagara. Yeah, but you know what?
What's the one with the yellow top on it, homie? Which one?
They had the starch in a big bottle that I used to mix, and then I used to have the sprayer, man. Those things, man, I could stand them up and jump in them almost, and you know, like there it is.
Hey, House, it was funny because you had to starch them like that because you might have to wear the same pants for 3 days, homie. You ain't gonna get an iron, dog. So you gotta iron the shit out of them. That's palabra, dog. You know.
This is no joke. He's got a point there, man. This is no joke right here. One time, you know. We weren't a rich family. He had a big family. So I was going to school, man, and I ran out of starch, you know? You know what I did? I mixed sugar and water.
Yeah, sugar and water. Sugar and water.
Real thing, you know?
Yeah.
And iron those suckers, man. And they were stiff, you know? I mean, I had the ants chasing me, but they were stiff, Holmes.
Yeah. Hey, and then, hey, House, and then My bad. When you cuff your pants, like you get your 34s, you got to make them to 30s. You would cut them and fold them and use the freaking plastic, like the straws and stuff like that, to tighten it up, to burn it. That's how instead of getting it tailor made for us, not rich Mexicans out there, Latinos, we had to do it. You had to find another way. But that's pretty funny, man.
You know how you slit them on the side to open them up? You go about 1.5 inches on the side right there. You know, I used to do that, and I used to sew it because I used to see my feet that she was a seamstress. But I says, man, I watched her, and I says, man, I did it nice, and then I sewed it up to look good, you know. And then the pinroll cuff, you got to have that pinroll cuff, homie. You know?
Yeah. That's like I said. There's a lot of history and a lot of culture that goes behind it. Even this one, man. I got one for you, Pops. You know, what do you think about like lowriders, even a part of music, man? You know, music's pretty crazy. It's you know, oldies rule forever. You know, that culture and all that stuff, and even hip hop, you know, has taken place. You know, where you see Cypress Hill. You know, they have the lowrider song and. You see that one with Cypress Hill, Be Real, and Snoop Dogg. So it has also hit the music industry as well, man, throughout all these years, man.
Hey, lowriding and music and oldies, I mean, that's hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like you say, that's what brought those both together. You know what I mean? The oldies and the lowriders. And like you say, hip hop embraced it later as well. You know what I mean? That's just a part of the West Coast culture, period. So later on when hip hop embraced it
right
together with low riding too, you know what I mean?
Well, that goes to show you how far lowrider has come, because from all the music from the 50s, 60s, like it's just crazy. You know, there's a lot of history behind it.
So what you also see now is you see lowriders in commercials that you would never see before. You know what I'm saying? They're even going into commercializing it like that, you know? But it's a beautiful thing because we have to get out there. That's who we are, you know? So it's a beautiful thing, man. Hey, G-Lew, what I want to let you know is you said you were going to build a lowrider or something, or you wanted to get one?
Yes, sir.
What are you looking at? What kind of car are you looking at, G-Lew?
I'm really, me personally, like, you know, I'm like a Cadillac guy, a household. I want
diamond in the front.
Yeah, I'm a Cadillac guy. I had Chevys too. I've had Chevys, you know what I mean? I've had a 73, I had a 75 and a 72. But I'm really
man, we can go down that boulevard, baby.
Hey, because I like how Cadillacs, I like the smoothness, you know what I mean? And just the real, you know what I mean? So I'm really a Cadillac guy.
I don't know if you want to go back to a 65 Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Ooh, I want a Coupe de Ville. 65, I haven't had any 60. That's really old, but I would love to, you know what I mean? But I definitely want a Coupe de Ville.
Hey, but when you get one of those and you throw some spokes on it, and then
everything changes.
Hey, those are some showstoppers right there, bro. Heck yeah.
I'm gonna definitely check in with you, house, when I get it going. You know what I mean?
See, I see that Cadillac Coupe de Ville has like the newer ones. Yeah, well, they're like in the 80s, right there.
80s,
yeah. 80s, yeah.
The 83s. I like the 82s and 83s personally, but I like those 70s coupes too. Anywhere in the 70s. Like I said, I haven't had any 60s, but I'm really a Cadillac guy, house. So,
oh yeah, hey, missed out. Hey, there's nothing wrong. I had Cadillac DTS. You know, I had one of those because they ride smooth, bro. You know.
Hey, house, G-Lew, but wasn't that the whole method too? Having a lowrider magazine to check out all the ramflas and everything else, right? We had all the cars. That's why you bought a lowrider magazine. That's what I'm saying. That even itself is a part of the culture, because that just lets you know what the description, what kind of car, year, the paint job, the models showing their nalgas. They're like, the magazine was dope, eh?
Yeah, I used to subscribe to lowrider for sure.
Hey, you know what, Big D? Back in the days when I was doing community service, right? I met a lady that knew the owner of Firme magazine and Kyovo magazine.
No way.
She goes, hey, there's two out there. One of the first ones, she goes, they need somebody to draw pictures for their story. So there's 2 books out there that have some of my artwork back in 83, I think it was, or 82.
Wow.
No, actually 81, because I still have the picture, you know?
Right. Because that's like I said, man. I remember dabbing into those lowriders, man, and just looking at them for the cars, for the the chicks out there. There's a lot of photography, man, that takes place behind these events, and they capturize it, and they have the good editing and good filmers, man. You got some good photographers that are out there just getting at any angle, where it made it now where anybody could go out there, especially on YouTube and social media where it's at now. I mean, you yourself could go out there and just just mainstream on just that, and you'll be surprised how far you could get. But it has to be good, because I dabbed into it that day. Me and House went. I was video editing and did all that, and that was one good hit for one of my videos right there. I was just like, okay, I see what the community is.
When I come back, I'm gonna catch a local when they're cruising. I want to capture some footage myself. Go ahead, House.
Hey, you know what, G-Lew? It's not like now you see cars out there that you'll see, like before they had Honda lowriders and all that, you see different types of cars.
Yeah, now trucks.
The Nissan trucks.
Yeah, even the old school Volkswagens, homie. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yes, sir.
That's still part of the lowriding community, the bugs and all that, and it's just.
Smokey had a nice bug lowrider. Rest in peace, Mommy Smokey. He had a nice one, man.
Peace of Smokey. Yeah, you know what? But what I suggest for you, G-Lew, because of your age and the kind of car you want, go with hydros, bro.
Okay. I thought about that. That's why I wanted to ask you the difference in, you know what I mean? Because I hear a lot of different shit. You know what I mean? But I just, like I said, I want something just smooth. I'm not trying to clown and all that. I just want to up and down. I want to lower it and just, you know what I mean? So I ain't trying to.
Airbags, then go with the airbags, bro. Yeah. Hey, make sure you get some small tires, some 13-inch on there, man. Don't put no 15 or anything like that. Yeah,
but that's how they do it in the South, though. They be between those 22s, 24s, man. It makes it.
I actually got a Cadillac now, and it has 22s on it, but that's just for cool. I want that low, that's just the roll. But I want a low rider. I want, like you said, with some 13s on it and some nice Dayton 100 spokes, and I'm good.
That's right. Like in the bombs, you get a big white wall with a 520 on there or something, or a Denman 15, but it has to be a white wall with the real thin tires, right?
Right.
But yeah, man, I love cruising. I love bombs. I got to save up for another one. I'm looking for a newer car maybe and fix it up and then flip it and get a bomb, because it put me in a bomb every day. There's nothing more badass than just driving in a.
Because you're old school, House. That's you all day. I can see you in that bomb, bro.
Right. I mean, that goes a little further back from the Impalas, the Monte Carlos, and all that too. So that goes to show you, man, that these cars have been coming from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, almost a century, man. And the tradition and the culture has followed. And basically, it's just like, hey, culture has came back, lowriding has came back. The laws have changed now for the community. And let's try to abide by the laws and just keep it cool, man.
Right. Facts.
Yeah. That's true. But they're gonna find something. They always find something to get you at. Because in reality, they could ticket us for altering the suspension. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what Pops was saying earlier, man. They have an alternative, man. See, they're letting it go, but I think they're trying to make money at the same time, man. They know that there's some people that are gonna come that have bad tendencies, and you got to bring crime back, and they got to make the quota. The city has to, police got to do work, man. So
all I like to say is to the people out there, when you go to functions and stuff like that, man, go in peace to have a good time, man. Hey, we need to uplift each other, man, and do some good things, man. Not tear each other down, And it's hard because what's going on in life. We're not dumb. We live that. So, but other than that, man, just try to be aware of your surroundings, you know what I'm saying, and see what's happening, to keep yourself safe sometimes, because you never know,
Right. What would you tell the us for the lowriding community, man, to keep displaying and keep doing what they're doing, man, right?
Hey, do what you do and enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? But be careful of the alcohol, man, when you're driving, and because there's been a lot of alcohol and driving at the same time, so just be careful, man, because you don't want to get caught, and or something happening,
Right.
We got a line.
Okay.
Hello.
What else? Sounds like
What's
Spanx.
up?
Yeah, it does sound like Spanx.
How you doing? God bless you guys.
What
God
up,
bless
Spanx?
you guys. How you doing? I just wanted
Send
to
him
call
mine.
in
Send him mine, Spanx.
I remember on the cruising back in the day. I remember like people were cruising without lowriders.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were jumping in any cars when they were cruising there, and then there was cruising on Whittier, Compton, Hollywood,
Right.
Pomona, even out there in Laurel Canyon, people were
Yeah,
cruising.
Laura Canyon. Yeah, Laura Canyon. Yeah.
I remember.
Right.
I remember back in the day, and going up and down Whittier, a lot of neighborhoods are right there. A lot of people would be posted up on the streets, but back then it was bad. You know what I mean? It was bad because people are just looking for one thing out there, just to catch someone slipping. But I'm glad it's changed now, and it's changed now.
That's what I said,
People are seeing
Spanx.
it better.
I think it's more, it's not as crazy, definitely not as crazy as it was back in the day. So it can maybe work better now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, man. Very true, Spanx.
And all people gotta do is just reach out to the older homies to like reach out and like keep the youngsters in check, because you know what I mean. It's like there's families out there, like Lena said earlier, like when she was out there and there was shooting and mothers grabbing their kids. That's unfortunate for something like that to happen to a baby. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we can take care of them. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, Spanx, there is family, there's children that are out there. So, no, it doesn't matter what age it is. A bullet has no name, man. It's just going whatever direction it's going in. And if it misses that person, guess what? It's trying to find the next person. It doesn't care if you're innocent, young, old, color. It doesn't care about that. The thing is that the stupidity was already done, and hopefully nobody pays the price for that.
Exactly, brother. You're right.
Because, right,
and like G-Lew was saying, excuse me, go ahead, brother.
Go ahead.
No, like what G-Lew was saying, how I thought you who said it, like, how brown and black, so you have a lot in common in what we do, you know what I mean? How we do things together, what we like. We all like the same stuff. We all like lowriders.
The same shit. Everything. We love the same. That's why I don't even get the bullshit, because we all the same. It's all the same shit, bro.
Exactly.
It's the pride, but we all look, we're the same.
When I look at Snoop Dogg, I remind me of a black cholo right there. Because the way he is, the way he moves, you know what I mean? Like, elbows up, like, how G-Lew does it. You know what I mean?
That one song, Vato displays it all. Hey, there was Cypress, Be Real, and him, Vato. And they're in the lowrider, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Thanks for the panel, but my phone's going to die out, and I got something coming right now into the door. But gracias for having me on your panel, homie, and much love to you, Big D and G-Lew, man, and Spanx. And yes, there's gonna be a house party too, bro. And man, you guys are gonna be more than welcome to come. Right.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, House, man. Thanks for coming on and educating us. To tell you the truth, man, you played a big part on tonight's show, and we appreciate that, because we always got to get. It's good to get not only videoing, but a good concept of somebody who's been there and done that, man. Some old school stuff,
But a big thing about it, man, is spread the love now, man. Forget the hatred, man. Just uplift the homie, uplift the brother, saying, "Hey, man, what's going on, man?" You know what I'm saying?
Hey, House, I got one question.
What's up, brother?
Do guys love their cars more than their women?
No, you know what? Okay, God first, family, and then the cars. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I had cars to afford it. I never cut my kids short or never cut my lady short. But sometimes my lady would say, "Man, you put that gas pump in there, blah blah blah. She's your wife, your second lady, And I said, but yet she will be there next to me. That was back in the days. You know what I'm saying? But that's a good one, dude.
Hey, House, gracias, man. Much love, respect. Stay dry, homie, because I don't know everybody where you're at, but right here in Southern California, it's raining pretty hard. It's going to be like this for the rest of the week, to tell you the truth. So be safe when you're driving. Appreciate you, House, man. You have a good evening. Thanks for tapping in on Monday night.
All right, G-Lew. Send mine, you guys.
Thanks, House. Much love, bro.
Much love.
Yep.
Yeah. And B, I grew up with my uncle, and he was from a car club. And back in the days, I was just probably like 14, 13, 12, around there, right? And there was an old car club called Old Pride out of Baldwin Park. They used to drive down the Baldwin Park Boulevard.
Right.
And that's what got me into like low riding, because he used to have me on the passenger side with him. You know what I mean? And it was so nice having all these cars follow each other. You know what I mean? And then I seen it happen. I'll always remember summer of '89, because that's when it was cracking on the boulevard. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Back in the day, man.
I remember the '90s, man. That's 89. Then a year later, 90, 91. It was just
cracking. I mean, that's when, like I said, it was multiple plot. We used to go to Hollywood, you know what I mean? And like you said, of course, we're there, but Hollywood used to crack.
Yeah, Hollywood used to crack, and when you shoot one boulevard down, another one opens.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you know what a trip too, because it wasn't always lowriders. You would see
all type of shit
out there.
Yeah, everything,
all kinds of different cars. They look nice because they're just whatever you're into. Their guys would go and just go cruise.
As long as it was clean and you had the bumps in there, you were bumping and you were good.
Yeah. Because I remember back in the day seeing the girls in the car. They would be in their regular Honda, just a carload of hot girls.
Right.
Those were the boulevard groupies, eh? They just wanted to go meet somebody. That's all it was. They were just looking for a homie like me, dog. You know what I mean? You know, like look at that fine bottle right there, eh? Just standing on the corner holding up the block. There, all khakied out, you know, Nike'd out, creased up from the feet up. That's just the way it was, eh? You know. And it's crazy because a lot of homies would be out there, you know, got no car, no money, dog, like looking for the fish.
Did you have the 50s, Big D, the 52s? What size were your Levi's, homie?
I had 60s, homie, like big, yeah.
Damn.
My homeboy had 60s. He was young, little, skinny, sucked up 60s. Everybody was wearing. Yeah, you gotta understand. Like I said, cruising, like how Spanky, he could probably, witness to it, man. It was all like that boulevard. It was dressed to impress, man. You know, you might have that one shot. Like whether you're gonna pick up behind her or you're gonna get shot that night. You know what I mean? It was one or the other, dog. Like, you know.
Go call the party line. Go ahead, Spanks.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember back in the day. That's what we used to do. We used to get creased up just to be out there on the boulevard, you know, and I don't mean I used to wear that like a uniform, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to wear that like, you know, if you see someone in khakis creased down, you know they were from somewhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It was just, that's how it was back then. You know what I mean?
Like Strange Day said, 18th Street.
Banging.
18th Street used to be. I remember my homeboys had a big. It was some shit that went down one night. Yeah, 18 used to definitely be deep.
Oh
yeah. When it came to those Art LeBeau shows right there in downtown at the Shrine Auditorium.
Yeah. It was lovely though. The memories are beautiful, but I hope that now that things have changed, I hope it's all going to be better for all of us.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, sir.
All families can enjoy themselves.
Yes, sir. That's what I think is good now, because it's crazy like it was. But the 90s, bro, were different, homie. So it's definitely not like that no more. That's a good thing.
No, it's a good thing, yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Spanks, I don't know after tonight, Don, increase on my clothes tonight, homie, go stand around Whittier right now.
Let me know if I go stand out there with you, man. Oh boy.
Right. Let's stand on Whittier, Norwalk, homie, right there. Just bam. Or right down Rosemead, dog. Rosemead and Whittier, dog. I could hear Pearl in the back. She's like, yeah, right.
She already told me I'm gonna get stocked up.
Oh man, well there goes. I guess we're just ahead of our time, homie. We're just ahead of our time, dog. You know what I mean?
You guys don't know. My lady used to be from Maravilla. No, that's where she's from.
Damn. Projects, homie. Belvedere Park. I was there all the time.
With the south.
Yeah. Hey, Belvedere Park, when they used to have their festivals right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right across the street from the projects, eh?
Out to Maravilla.
Yeah.
The original green. Now we ain't gonna get into that, but Matavia, hey, solid homies from there.
Yeah, there's some real hitters from
The
there.
original. Yeah, the original
out
green
to
light
them, yeah,
gang
I
because they
got
went
that.
against the grain. That's the original green light gang. They
Yeah.
went against the grain.
Yeah.
Well, they were big enough to do it, eh? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. And they were on the boulevard. They're on the boulevard too. Ford, Moriah, Mariana, all them.
Yeah.
That's all. Arizona, they're all Kern. They're all on the boulevard.
Sure.
Yeah. Frazier too. Yeah,
Yeah, Frazier.
See a lot.
So there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of, you know, good and bad when it comes to stuff like that, man. I think we can do it for the safety and for the standards of our community, man. Black and brown put together, to tell you the truth, because we don't want to give these politicians any reason, you know, to shut things down, because that's where even violence corrupts even more, man. You know, so what is even the purpose, to tell you the truth, man?
People together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not a good contrast, you know, to say like, oh, cruising's cool, but there's violence out there too. It's a mixed emotions right there. You're like, what the heck? You know, that's it.
Thermite.
Is that La Termite from the freaking Instagram Yarda?
Yeah. Be careful, you're gonna be a lieutenant up on there.
Right. She's gonna tell Lena loves him. She's gonna tell everybody, we do what we do, SS.
Yeah, you're gonna hold down one
Sunday night's oldie rules forever and our lowriders, eh? Oldies rule forever. You know, forever.
That's right.
Man, that's crazy, man. Good topic though tonight, man. That was fun, man.
I knew this would be good. I knew this would be a good one.
Real.
Well, yeah, well, you know, at the same time, as I mentioned, man, we're just trying to educate the people what's going on, just in case you do get pulled over and you're in this type of the world, you're in this part of the world, you know your rights, man. That's what it's coming down to, is you got to know your rights at the same time. As we mentioned, all of us in this panel, you know, live tonight is just keep it clean, man. You know, be aware of your surroundings. That's everywhere you go, because it just takes one person to mess it up. But, you know, moving forward, you know, let's take advantage of what the state of California has allowed us to do as communities, black, brown, Asian, white, and so forth, man. There's not, when we say there's many, you know, there's many races, but there's not that many colors, man. So, you know, quit playing about that. You know, we still bleed red, and let's just continue to educate ourselves, and just how my uncle used to say that just passed, man. Can we all just get along?
Oh, you know what I mean? He said, meet me at the laws where you become a slut with my vato. That's mi vida loca. Shout out to Lena Lokes.
I just want one thing before I go, but anybody who has lowriders, please keep them in the state, because us sending them overseas, we're losing our cars.
That's another thing too.
They're not more money. You know what I mean? I know there was more money, but that's our culture right there, and we're selling them for dollars. You know what I mean?
Sir.
And we're losing them to over there.
Yes, sir. That's a fact.
That's where it started was here.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean?
There's profit behind it, just like everything else. Everybody's just trying to make a dollar, man.
Exactly. Those are our cars here in the United States. You know what I mean? So something.
USA made, baby. USA made, you know.
Yeah. All right,
Good
brother.
straight.
Stay up, you guys.
Hey, much love,
All
Spank.
right,
Love
hey,
you, bro.
God bless you. Hey, homie. You know, you keep it straight. Tell la familia I said, Cubo. It's good talking to you, Spanks. Much love. God bless.
You too, brother. All right. God bless.
All right, homie.
Bye-bye.
Hey, let me play this one more thing. I know we're about to end it soon. Let me play this one more thing, because we're talking about, like you say, the pros and cons and how the cops are out there doing their thing to be safe. So
He
check
is
this out.
pumping the brakes on a new cruising law that took effect New Year's Day. People taking part in a cruise night in Van Nuys just this weekend say the department put them on notice. KCAL News reporter Lori Perez live in Van Nuys, where, Lori, you spoke with some of them.
That's right, and things are kind of clearing up at this point, but there are still a few cars hanging around. And this is interesting. A lot of drivers came here tonight thinking, okay, this is a new year. There's a new law legalizing cruising. We're all set, right? Except LAPD's Van Nuys station put out a notice kind of saying, not so fast. Cars cruising along Van Nuys Boulevard are nothing new. It's been happening on and off for decades. with varying levels of police enforcement. But 5 days ago, cruising finally became legal throughout California. And these lowriders, the new law made them legit on the roads too. So when organizers spread the word about a cruise night this weekend in Van Nuys, they thought they were all good.
I thought too, but apparently, supposedly we can't park and hang out.
But then LAPD's Van Nuys division put out a notice, with one breath acknowledging the new law, the next saying these cruiser night events are not city approved and require event permits. LAPD division, with additional resources, will conduct a zero-tolerance enforcement for moving, parking, and LAMC violations. And we did see police ticketing this driver for using hydraulics while driving. But to cruisers, it seems pretty clear what's going on.
But them harassing us and harassing everybody here is not cool.
Some think LAPD is just trying to stop the cruising despite the new law. This patrol car circled the block so many times, I lost count. A car club organizer showed me this text message he says he got from an officer saying, "Just know there is no parking on Van Nuys Boulevard after 8 p.m. Any vehicles will be cited. Cruising is legal, but not parking." That might be so, but some say that's never been enforced before, so why now?
If we break the law, we understand, okay. But if we're not doing nothing wrong, or we're not riding around spinning our tires and hitting people and doing crazy stuff, you know.
It's sad how the LAPD is sending a letter out to just attack us for what? This is just a cruise night.
Yeah, we emailed and called LAPD repeatedly for comment. We got back an email saying the community alert stands on its own, but it is kind of confusing. I should note, despite what they said, we have not seen anyone cited for parking, even though you can still see that they are parked here after 8 p.m. And so it is kind of confusing, I should say. We're live in Van Nuys. I'm Lori Perez. Back to you.
A lot to figure out with that one. Lori, thank you.
Wow, that's pretty controversial right now, to tell you the truth, man, because I don't know, the law says one thing and these people out there and they says they're just parked. So they're parked to the side not getting a ticket, but as soon as they start cruising, they get a ticket. So you could park your car right there without, permit, whatever, but you can't freaking drive down the block, and display, I guess, low riding, to tell you the truth. And that's how you know it's a culture, to tell you the truth, when something's being attacked, because they're attacking anybody, man. Like I said, it doesn't matter, Asian, white, black, brown. You're riding, if you're driving a car that represents, culturistic, some sense, black and brown history, you kind of get attacked by that. So that's pretty crazy, man. That's probably just the beginning. I think we need to do a part 2 session about this, to tell you the truth, and dig a little further, because I also wanted to talk about, like, hey, where did low riding come from? What I'm saying? Where has it originated from? There's a lot of controversy when it comes to that, but I think it'd be cool to dig a little deeper and get, a few people back on the panel, and let's talk about it again, man, because this was a good one. And I think we're ready for a part 2 session, to tell you the truth, because it's just beginning, to tell you the truth, and summer's not even around the corner. So with some good footage, Pops being back down and everybody mopping and doing their thing, man, I think we could come back and do another one. What y'all think, man?
Yes, sir. Part 2 coming soon. We want to get more people involved, so we'll keep you guys in the loop on that. We'll do a part 2, and like you said, talk more about the history. You know what I mean? Because like you said, a lot of people don't know where it started. There's a lot of controversy. Who started it? What?
Right,
so
right.
I think we can dig into that. That'll be dope, Big D.
Right. Well, that being said, though, man, hey, good talk, man. Let's talk about it. We talked about it tonight, man. We illustrated, came back with, with some truth and some facts about, what we were talking about tonight, man. So basically, man, we appreciate all y'all who stopped by, kicked it with us on a Monday night. So it's raining over here in Southern California, but we appreciate you, man. So with that being said, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. Don't forget to share our channel, because we keep doing what we're doing on Mondays, beginning of the week. Oldies rule forever, and the next day,
Yes, sir. And yeah, like that. We're going to get up out of here. Thank you, everyone, for the love and support. And
be safe. Be safe here in Southern California. Be safe. It's raining hard right now, man.
Yeah.
Tap in tomorrow. Tap into G-Lew all week as he covers and floods the StreamYard right there, doing things every day. And like I said, oldies rule forever. With that being said, hey, people, I'll see you next week, man. It's Big D from Keeping It Real channel from my house to yours.
Much love, respect. Thanks, Big D. Much love, homie. Hey, the homie said, can we get a G's that way? I don't know if I got that loaded up, my boy. Dang. But either way, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Check us out tomorrow night. We'll be back with Changing the Game, and we'll do this again next time. Much love and respect. We're out.
Get up, get out, and get back on the grind. Got money on my mind, now it's time to go get it. Just left California and I already missed it. It's a trip, everybody's tripping. The game ain't the same no more, it's all different. Like Pop said, I got an ambition to be a straight rider down the Shaw hitting switches. Give a shout out to my homie Big Snow, Twin 2, Baby Gangsta, Lil Ace Capone. Since K, they was 1580. Shout out to the lady in my life, that's my baby.